Hi, welcome to Rachel's Rants. I'm Rachel. I will be ranting. Well, I will be ranking. I will be ranking English 236's top 10 quirky girls based on how much their individuality complex bothers me. Now, these are just my opinions, but they are also correct. To explain the basic criteria to be on this list, an individuality complex is the belief that a person is more individual and unique than their friends, or the need to be more unique than people around them, according to Urban Dictionary, which we know is the law of the land. Throughout this course, I've seen writers who just think they're special. And I mean, to be fair, a lot of them are pretty special people, that's why we're studying them still. But they don't need to act like they're better than common folk to prove they're special. I once heard someone say that social media influencers need a certain level of narcissism to believe that people want to watch their content. And I think that the same thing can kind of be said about writers, that you have to have a certain level of an individuality complex to think that what you have to say has never been said before and that people care to read it. Anyways, so that's kind of the point I'm trying to make here. Writers think they're better than everyone else. Special note before we get into the ranking, any writer who includes a preface about how special a poet is and what makes a poet and why people should be reading poetry, instant top 5. Anyways, now let's move on to one of my favorite activities, harshly judging people. Okay, we're starting off with the original baddie, Miss Margaret Fuller. She's on this list almost as an antithesis because she is special and unique and she is saying important things, but I'm not getting the vibes that she thinks that of herself. I'm almost getting the exact opposite of an individuality complex. In Women in the 19th Century, she basically says, I know you all think I'm an exceptional woman, I know you all think I'm not like the other girls, but I'm exactly like the other girls if you would just let them have a morsel of education and some choices in their life. She gives the mic to her bestie Miranda, who says this banger quote. I would love to read you all of these lengthy passages that I'm going to present to you, but this video is long enough as it is, so you can just pause to read if you care. Fuller isn't boosting herself above everyone else. She's trying to bring the entirety of women up with her. Okay, at number 9, we have Emily Dickinson, my other quirky queen. She is just, I love Miss Emily so very much. She is not like the other girls, but she doesn't make a fuss about it, you know? She doesn't need to publish her work to prove she's special. She just is special. This queen right here is how you do individuality right. Take notes. Okay, now for the I'll allow it tier. At number 8, we have Mr. Ralph Waldo Emerson. He should honestly probably be at the top of this list, but I love him, so he gets a pass. Let's fire off some quotes. There is a property in the horizon which no man but he whose eye can integrate all the parts. That is the poet. If you're a poet writing about how special and great a poet is, and now we have his famous one, I became a transparent eyeball. I am nothing. I see all the currents of the universal being circulate through me. I am part or particle of God. And then this one, this is the cherry. I feel like I should have used this quote to explain what an individuality complex is. To be great is to be misunderstood. It's giving me severe Enneagram 4 Wing 5 energy. If you're not familiar with the Enneagram, I'm not the person to explain it to you, but the 4 Wing 5 is titled the individualist because 4s maintain their identity by seeing themselves as fundamentally different from others. 4s feel that they are unlike other human beings and consequently that no one can understand them or love them adequately. They often see themselves as uniquely talented, possessing special one-of-a-kind gifts. I will not confirm nor nor deny that the reason I could recognize this 4-wing 5 in Emerson is because I myself am in fact an Enneagram 4-wing 5. Anyways, I think we're going to see a lot of 4s throughout this whole list. Next we have Mr. Henry Thoreau, and like he should probably also be higher up on the list, but like in my head I've mentally paired Thoreau with Emerson, and I like Emerson, so his bestie Thoreau also gets a pass. I think Thoreau's famous passage is so beautiful in spirit and in writing, but it's giving a lot of superiority.
You can pause to read, but I'm not going to be reading this whole thing to you, I'm sorry.
To summarize, I envision Thoreau as like that one person who doesn't have social media and thinks that they're so much better than everyone else because of it. We get it. You lived in the woods. Number 6 is my king, Oscar Wilde. He is so much of an individualist that it's annoying and obnoxious and like just so much, but I love him, so it's okay. He knows it too, but it's him, so. You sly little dog, you. Okay, I can't blame you. You're too handsome. I mean, look at this picture. That's a quirky king if I've ever seen one, you know? We're now moving up a category to you are one pretentious hipster. These are people who truly embody the whole individualist spirit, but I don't like you as much, so you don't get a pass. Starting off this category, we have William Blake. Honestly, it's Song of Innocence that really does it for me. I'm not mad at Blake. I liked his stuff. Don't blame him. But I personally interpreted Song of Innocence to be like Blake saying he's the piper and like similarly making a statement about his work as a poet. That's why I feel bad for him. I should have left him out of this, but no, I'm not apologizing. No. Next, John Keats. We all use our fucking imagination, Keats. You're not special. He really shouldn't be this high on this list. He really doesn't bother me all that much. In fact, you know what? I don't apologize to Blake, but I will apologize to Keats. I'm sorry about this. You deserved better. But I just remember being like really heated when I was reading his work because it's just all about his little personal fantasies. And like, he's not unique for using his imagination. Like, we all do that. At number 3, we have, drumroll please, Percy Shelley. I gotta be honest, I don't like Shelley. And I don't have anything to back that up. It's just bad vibes. But the reason he's on this list and so high up is because of this. From Julian and Medallo, most wretched men are cradled into poetry by wrong. They learn in suffering what they teach in song. Shelley, sweetie, I have one question. Why do you think your feelings are so much more special and deep just because you wrote a self-insertive fanfic instead of just suppressing your emotions like the rest of us? He also wrote defensive poetry. Speaks for itself. And now we have our final category, physically enraged. At number 2, we have Walt Whitman. Song of Myself. Song of Myself. That's all I need to say. I will say more though. I don't mind the style of his writing, but I do mind Whitman. He just irritates me. He's so loud and public and self-assured. How presumptuous do you have to be to write, I am the mate and companion of people, all just as immortal and fathomless as myself? I'll give you another one. One world is aware, and by far the largest to me, and that is myself. I could honestly quote the entirety of Song of Myself to put as a prime example of an annoying individual individualistic writer. Whitman is the point I'm trying to make about writers. To nail the coffin in tighter, he has a preface. And I've already told you that if you have a preface that talks about like what makes a poet special, big red flag. So let's hear Whitman talk about what makes a poet special. The greatest poet does not moralize or make applications of morals. He knows the soul. And then he proceeds to tell us about the soul. And we also have that fun little, I am the poet of the body and I am also the poet of the soul. So if we connect all of these little dots here, Whitman just called himself the greatest poet. I could totally say more. I made my point. We're done. And for our number one most enraging writer with an individuality complex, our number one quirky girl, William Wordsworth. I vividly remember sitting in my dorm and reading lines written a few miles above Tintern Abbey on revisiting the banks of the Wye during a tour, July 13th, 1798. Which, I mean, like, that's a try-hard title if I've ever heard one. I remember reading it and thinking, does this guy think I've never seen nature before? Does he really think he's morally superior for taking a hike? Sir, you just discovered the power of a hot girl walk. Join the rest of us. Let's read an obnoxiously long passage that says nothing.
Actually, let's not do that. If you want to read it, pause it, but I'm not gonna make you suffer.
This whole, like, deeply connected, appreciative of nature is not unique. We all had that little epiphany at 6th grade outdoor ed camp. In conclusion, Mr. Wordsworth, we are all very aware of the mental health benefits of frolicking in a meadow, or listening to a mountain stream, or staring at a tree. You don't need to tell us about it. Anyways, that is my ranking. If you agree with me, give me a like, and also, like, give me a comment and tell me that, you know, I'm hot and funny and smart and clever and just the best person and always right. If you disagree with me, shut up, you're wrong. Anyways, thanks for watching. Stay swaggy. See you next time.